Hello, young scholars. I know you're probably anxious at this point to finally be able to access your feedback, so this is just a quick video to show you how to do that. So the main thing that you want to do is make sure that you are getting to the assignment in the module and not the assignment in the Canvas gradebook. So don't go through the gradebook or grades, go over here to your calendar, click on that. And then what you have to do is go back to the original assignment date, which was February 20th in this case. And even though it's crossed off, you can still access the assignment itself by going all the way up here to the top of this little dialog box where it has the title of the assignment in it. And this takes you back to the assignment in the module. And that's where you need to go because that's where you're going to find the link to Turnitin.com, and that's where all the feedback is stored. So here you can see your grade. This is your originality report. And if you want to look at either one of these, you can click on this link or this link. I'm assuming the grade is what you're going to find as being most important because that's actually where you're going to be able to access your feedback. And the first thing that you want to do, even though you see some highlights here and some blue comments and stuff like that, is go to the rubric first, okay? Because if you click on View Rubric, first thing that you're going to see is your score. It's going to tell you, if you scroll right down to the bottom, how many tragic errors you have, how many formatting errors you can have. So you can see this was a 3-point deduction because there were 3 tragic errors. This is a 2-point deduction because there were 2 formatting errors. Now here as well, you can see if a proficiency revision is something that's advisable for you. So I'm only advising proficiency revisions for people who did not score at least 80% in each of these domains because that is the highest score that you can get on your proficiency revision. So for example here, since focus and controlling idea is out of 15 points, a score of 12 is at 80%, so this would not be eligible for a proficiency revision, nor would organization, documentation, style, and conventions on this essay because the score was 14 points out of 15, which is much higher than 80%. So you wouldn't be able to do a proficiency revision for either of these 2 domains if this were your essay. However, reading and content development is out of 20 points. It weighed a little bit more heavily on this essay, and a score of 13 is definitely below 80%. In fact, 80% is at 16. So take a look at your essay, focus controlling idea. You have to be at 12 or above to be proficient. At reading and content development, you have to be at 16 or above. And then for organizations, documentation, style, and conventions, you have to be at 12 or above. All right. So if you're not hitting those baselines, then you are eligible to do a proficiency revision. You don't have to. You don't have to do this revision assignment at all if you don't want to. But it is a good idea to make sure that you are proficient, especially, going on next year to the next essay and even for essays that we might be doing at the end of this year. So at any rate, here's how you figure out what you're doing there. All right, now, first of all, you'll see over on the side, under comments, these are personal comments that I've written out to you based on, if you look at the other side, all of these considerations. So in other words, this is a list of the things that I'm looking at and that are helping me to determine where you are score-wise in focus and controlling idea. And then these are the list of things that I'm looking at in terms of reading and content development to see where you are score-wise. And then this obviously is for organization, documentation, style, and conventions. Now the nice thing here is that you can click directly on these bubbles to get some idea of what issues that you're having. So you can see there's an issue with the heading, there's an issue with the title here. Under tragic errors, there's a misspelled character setting name, there's a freestanding quotation, there's a page number inaccuracy. That'll give you some idea of what you're doing. And then if you're pondering the proficiency revision anywhere, because you have a score that's lower than 80% in one of these domains, then you might want to click on that and see, okay, there's something about passage selection, there's something about analysis, there's something about inaccuracy here, so I might have to take a look at these things and see if I can find out what's going on there. So once you get a pretty good idea of where you are with this, you can close this out and then take a look at the essay itself. And you might want to expand this box a little bit just so it's easier to read. So anything that's in a color other than yellow, like this right here or this right here, this is just where your overlaps are. If you're curious about them, you can click on this over here and you can see what overlapped with what. But unless I've told you already that there's an issue with plagiarism in your essay, they're not things to worry about. They're just, these are cases where it's just kind of accidental. All right, so more importantly probably then is the rubric. So that's what you want to, you can probably go back and forth between these two things. You can keep the window open and switch back and forth if you want. But you can click directly on these blue boxes here. So this explains the formatting error here a little bit better. This explains the title error here a little bit better if you click on those things. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what you need to do to fix them. If you're not sure, send me a couple of screenshots with questions and I'll do my best to answer them for you and help you out. Now, a bubble like this means that there's a specific comment that I've written out for you here, and this is the domain that it falls under. So if I look at that, I say, okay, focus and controlling idea. I should read this. I should take it into consideration for the next writing assignment that I have to do. But this is not an area where I can do proficiency revision, so probably better to focus on something like this, where I know this is under reading and content development. This is an area that I had a problem with, so I'm going to read the comment here very carefully and think about what that means as far as what I have to do for my essay to fix that. And then if I scroll down a little bit further, here's another one. This applies to reading and content development, so that's 2 out of 3 that I'm looking at. And then this one is focus and controlling idea, so that's in a domain that I still need work on, but it's still proficient. And then here is the third one for reading and content development. So I know that I have to address these 3 comments and make revisions that fix whatever the issues are there before I turn in that revision if I want to recoup those points lost to proficiency. Now here is one of my tragic errors. So again, you take a look at it and say, okay, I've got a freestanding quotation there that I've got to fix. So I'll look at how to do that. If I've got a page number inaccuracy, I'll have to check the book. Hopefully you still have your books with you. And then here we've got organization style, documentation style and conventions. So I take that in, but I don't worry about it too much. Okay, here's the other thing. I've got a misspelling. So I got to double check that against the book to fix that tragic error. And then this one is on focus and controlling idea again. So you want to take a look at that and see what you need to fix for the future. But otherwise, you should be good to go. So like I said, take a look at your feedback first. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to send me an email through Canvas or through just the regular Google Mail, and we can take care of answering your questions at that point. Good luck, and hope to see you soon.